if you could just start with an introduction, like state your name, explain where you work, what
Sure.
you do for your job.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm Deborah Gottschalk, and I work for myself in private practice at my business, which is called Create Mental Wellness Counseling. Um, and I'm in Brantford, and I have a studio office where I see clients. So,
What did you do for your education leading up to this job?
so I have a master's degree, and before that, um, I have a bachelor of fine arts. So I'm an art therapist and counselor. And in order to be an art therapist and counselor, you have to have um, studies in both psychology and in art. So my undergraduate or bachelor's degree is a Bachelor of Fine Arts, and I got that at Moore College of Art and Design in Philadelphia, the oldest women's art college in the country. Woohoo. And then I got my master's degree in art therapy and counseling, and then I got that at Albertus Magnus College in New Haven, Connecticut. And that was a 3-year program. Most masters are more like a year and a half or 2 years, but this one was 3 years because it's in both psychology and in art therapy. So it's almost like 2 degrees.
What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
I make art. No, I do. I try to. I work with clients. We call them clients instead of patients. So this is a mental health field, and I work with clients one-on-one, meaning individually, just them and myself, or in a group, a small group. Of course, during the pandemic, that's changed. Right now, I see people through virtually, like you're going to school virtually, at least probably part-time. So I do that, and then I can also see people in person in my office. And when you think about therapy, we do like your what you might expect kind of normal talk therapy, where we talk about people's goals and challenges that they're having, and ways to help them achieve their goals and what they're looking to do to help themselves. And I kind of help guide them along that path. Um, and I also use art, um, and we also use nature. So I do talk, art, and walking to help people. Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite part of your job and your least favorite part of your job?
My favorite part of my job is making art with people. And definitely my least favorite part is all the notes and documentation I have to do. So, you know how you go to the doctor's office and they're like clicking away, writing things down? Um, that takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And you do that when the client or the patient is not there. Might do a little bit of it while they're there, but you have to go back and do it afterward. And this is both for legal reasons and ethical reasons, in order to build their insurance or make sure that you're doing your job well. And you also have to be careful not to put too much detail in there because it's a very confidential and you want to protect their privacy. So I wanted to read a little something to you about what art therapy is because a lot of people don't know. Is that okay? It'll just take a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So if you want to learn more about art therapy, you can go to the American Art Therapy Association. And art therapy, it's what they call an integrative mental health and human services profession. So it helps individuals, families, communities through art making, and it's about the creative process. So it's not about creating a beautiful painting or picture. It's really about the process that someone goes through in order to that how they interact with the art materials and things like that. It's about psychology and about the human experience and the relationship that they have with the therapist. And the art therapist helps to support the client, um, with, like I said, with their treatment goals, and or if it was a group, it might be concerns that they have for the community. So I work with people who have depression, people who have are suffering from grief and loss or have trauma. There's people who have anxiety. There's a really wide range, a lot of stress or just having family conflict. Um, and it helps people with all kinds of things. Their self-esteem and their self-awareness, how they feel emotionally, and help them like build resilience, um, insight, and social skills. Sometimes people are shy, they're not sure how to communicate, and it helps people with like the skills to resolve conflicts in their family or in their school and things like that. Um, so those are the main things. So I just wanted to kind of like give you a little bit more information about what art therapy is.
Uh, what drew you to this career?
Well, what drew me to the career is that I find art making very healing. And sometimes people who get into the field of psychology have experienced things themselves that um, make them want to help other people and be there to help other people, through because you can use your own life experiences as well as your education to do that.
What are some important qualities or skills that you think someone would need to become an art therapist?
Um, so you you do need to have, you don't have to be like a fine artist, but you do have to have some artistic skills, and you do learn that when you're in school. You have to be compassionate and empathetic, and you have to be a good listener and want to help people. Um, I think those are probably a lot of them. And you have to also like believe in science, because a lot of what we do, well, is both based in science, but it's also a lot of intuition as well.
Lastly, is there anything else you would like to share someone who may be interested in this type of career?
Mm, yes. It's not a big money maker, but art therapy and even being a therapist is very rewarding. Um, it means a lot to me to be able to sit with people and just kind of what we call hold space for them when they're struggling and they're having a hard time. And it's really my privilege. I feel really fortunate to be able to do that with people.